they show you this week, there's a way to have the speech marks thing automatically sent to your email. So
Okay.
we'll do it this week.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Mayor and Council meeting for Monday, February 5th, 2024. It is a hybrid meeting. We are in council chambers and on Zoom. Roll call, Mayor Hedrick is here, Deputy Mayor Depot, Councilor Patterson, Councilor Piazza, Councilor Talley, Councilor Sheffield, Councilor Norris is excused, and Finance Director Uhas. So please stand and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, recognitions, awards, and memorial. I have a proclamation for Black History Month that I would like to read. Office of the Mayor, City of Groton, Connecticut proclamation, Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month grew out of the establishment in 1926 of Negro History Week by Dr. Carter G. Woodson and the Association of the Study of African American Life and History. And whereas in 1976, as part of the nation's bicentennial, Black History Week was expanded and became established as Black History Month and is now celebrated all over North America. And whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas every year, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History sets for Black History Month a national theme, and this national theme is Black Resistance. And whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attentions to the continued battle of racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas the City of Groton continues to work toward becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential contributions in our community, the state, the country, and the world. And whereas the City of Groton is proud to honor the history and contributions of African Americans in our community throughout our state and nation. Now, therefore, I, Keith Hedrick, Mayor of the City of Groton, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the city in recognition of African Americans past and present in our community, do hereby proclaim February 2024 to be Black History Month. The City of Groton and I encourage all citizens to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all. In witness thereof, I am hereunto set my hand and affix the official seal of the City of Groton for the first day of February 2024. Signed, Keith Hedrick, Mayor, City of Groton. Additionally, we will have an official ceremony on February 15th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All are invited. Okay. Any other proclamations, awards, memorials from the council? Okay. Moving on, receipt of citizens' petitions. Receipt of citizens' petitions is a portion of the council meeting where the council welcomes comments from citizens. To address the council, please sign a sheet on the table at the front of the meeting room. When you're recognized, please approach the podium. Clearly state your name and address. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit emailed or written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to the City of Groton. City councilors will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and can respond during the responses to citizens' petitions portion of the meeting. Thank you. Okay, we have people signed up. The first individual is Frank Jeanette. Frank, please come up, take a seat, and state your name and your address, please, for the record.
My name is Frank Jeanette. I live at 142 Benham Road, here in Groton.
We can't hear online.
Okay, please speak up. Please speak up in the microphone.
I need a drink. Okay.
Yeah, you can pull that forward to you if you need to, as long as it's green. Well, you need it close to you so she can hear.
Okay. I'm here tonight just to ask the question. The Mother Bailey House at 108 Thames Street, back in 2019, when we started bidding on this property, Zero Broad was inclusive. And on the last bid, which was 2023, which we received, Zero Broad was excluded. And I'm just wondering, why was it excluded? Because in 2019, I was told I had to go have blueprints drawn, which costed me money for Zero Broad as well as 108 Thames Street. I had to get a performance bond, which costed me money. So over the years, these things keep adding up. And I was under the assumption that I would get Zero Broad to go with 108 Thames Street. I think just in redoing 108 Thames Street is going to be a positive for the city of Groton. And Zero Broad, because it was inclusive in the other bids, I'm here seeking that piece of property. Since 108 Thames Street, we've paid the city more money for that property than all the other RFPs combined. And I think it's only right, because I want to do positive things for the city. I live here in the city. I want to do positive things for the city. And right now, I feel as though I wasn't treated fairly on this, because, you know, we jumped over leaps and bounds just to get to the point where we did. And in the process, since 2019, the cost of everything's gone up threefold. So my way of getting some of it to limit some of the costs is with Zero Broad. I think positive things could happen there, whether we make it inclusive to 108 Thames Street. But the piece of property sitting there, and right now, we cut the grass there, we do whatever we need to do, so that the property looks halfway decent when you ride down the street. Yes, we do park our trucks there. Yes, we do have some stuff on the ground there. But at the end of the day, it's about Groton, it's not about me. And in all fairness, I'm seeking to obtain Zero Broad Street. Now, I hope that somebody could tell me why it was not included as part of the last RFP. I know some of you may or may not be familiar with it. But in all fairness, I think I should at least be given the opportunity, because otherwise, what's going to be done with the property? Is it going to sit there vacant, or are you going to do something with it? You know, and
You have 1 minute?
I have 1 minute left.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I just like to have some kind of response from the council regarding that. Because, in all honesty, it should have been included as part of the RFP, as it was in all the previous ones dating back to 2019. And given the fact that I did put out extra money for bonding for drawings, for attorney fees, all associated with Zero Broad. At least I should be given the opportunity to acquire it one way or the other. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is Doris Pulaski. Please speak into the microphone so that the participant on Zoom can hear you. State your name and address, please, for the record.
My name is Doris Pulaski. My address is 224 Shore Avenue. And I'm here to speak in support of Frank Jeanette's petition. For one reason is that actually I'm a connection of the Bailey family, as my great-grandmother was Paulina Dara Bailey. My grandmother was a Perkins, so historically my whole family is very concerned with historic districts, the fort, and all this stuff. Frank has done work for me on my house, keeping me in compliance with the historic Eastern Point District rules, and is very good at all these things. He's been doing this for over 20 years. That Zero Broad property should go with the Mother Bailey house so that something goes on it that matches what the Mother Bailey house is and stands for people who are committed to the history of our district. So I'm hoping that that Frank will be in control of what goes on that property so that it stays in line with the Thames Street District. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list, Michael Boucher. Please state your name and address for the record.
Mike Boucher, 16 Hillside Avenue, Groton. I'm here to strongly support Frank's request for the property behind him. Frank, it's been a pleasure to watch him. He's the greatest thing that's ever happened to Thames Street in a long, long time. The work he's done is impeccable. He has gone above and beyond to save the Mother Bailey house. I routinely visit him. I'm fascinated by old houses. I love to study the structures, and I really admire the work he's done. It's been a project due to some outside circumstances that he's had to take apart piece by piece and put back together again. And not only put back together again, but it's going to last longer than it has already. It's been an #1 job. He absolutely deserves the property behind him because it's been extremely costly, and he's willingly put in, I'm going to say, just on construction alone, an extra $150,000. I mean, he could have done that on the cheap and made a profit. He's borderline, he's doing it for the city. He really is. That's what it comes down to. He's doing it for the city. And I want to thank you, Frank. If nobody else does, I thank you, because if I don't see the house would not be there without Frank. He's done a great job. My next comment, I know you have the recyclable totes. Is that what's coming up later today? Often in winds, they don't have tops. You see the papers and plastics blow around. Obviously, you just can't go ahead and buy a bunch of large containers, but maybe a reminder to people that if you have an overloaded tote, put it in your trash can instead, because on windy days, it's awful messy. Last question, police budget. I know that GU, especially the IT department, spends often maybe around $900,000 a year. I'm not sure how that's included in the police budget. I don't see it written in there. I see it as something that comes from GU to support the city. My question would be is when you support the police budget to the town, is that $900,000 included, and do we get reimbursed at 50% for that? If not, I'd like to see that happen, and I'd also like for transparency purposes to see that included in the police budget. I think we should have all costs involved in supporting the police department in the package. And that's it. Thank you very much. And thanks again to Frank.
Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak? Okay. Councilor Borderline, would you like to speak?
Sure.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. For full disclosure, in Groton, and that is on the city side. And I'm not speaking as a counselor today, I'm speaking as a taxpayer constituent of the city. It's great to celebrate Black History Month, thank you for that. And, you know, I know Mr. Sheffield, Tony Patterson, and many others on there have done great efforts to be inclusive in our community, and I want to thank you for a very inclusive police department. I'm happy to see that on your agenda tonight, you're discussing the deplorable technology that you have. I've been at your meetings, listening to planning and zoning talk about infrastructure. Let's talk about infrastructure. Why is it taking so long? Fund it. You know, we have to make sure our meetings are open and transparent. Also, I've gotten comments as I sit here today. I told people I would go online to see what it was like because I've gotten a lot of verbal communication in the grocery store and everywhere else. You can't see everybody on camera. There's nobody sitting to the left of Mr. Sheffield, so turn the camera so you can see everybody. Everyone should be visible, or what's the point? The volume is less than desirable. With that, with Black History Month, it's one thing to raise the flag, but what are you doing for your community? What are you doing for Branford Manor? We hand out food that the city doesn't pay for, and that's greatly appreciated. But it goes beyond the once-a-month food banks, and that's what I'm hearing from the citizens. They want help, they want support. Our community on the city side overwhelmingly has the highest numbers of minorities, Blacks, Latinos, and many other races represented. We should overwhelmingly be working hard to strive to make sure that we are supporting our school system and any efforts and all efforts that we can. Again, I thank you for the police department's diversity. Another constituent reached out to me. They get confused with the town and the city council, so I listened, and I told them I would report because not everybody likes to come here. They're concerned that there are folks that are on planning and zoning, so no, let me go back, that they're on economic development, so they're making like changes and decisions on how we should economically grow the town, and they also have a nice hot seat on planning and zoning where now they're making decisions on what buildings should be there. You can't have both, and I'm concerned that is that ethical, is that fair, and is that just? Should one person be driving the economic development and then changing the zoning on the next day? I just encourage you guys to look at that and report on that. That's a community concern that was brought to my attention. Also, again, I went to the planning and zoning meeting. I'm all for updating Main Street. It's way overdue, and we should be disgusted by how it looks. As a council, new members are here, you have no part of that. You can't change something in 2 or 3 years, but it goes way back, and we can do better, and we have to want better. A 6-story building is not the tapestry of the lay of the land. It should be 3 to 4 at best, and if you want to go 4 or 5, maybe over by the skating rink. Again, we have people on economic development, seeing a vision, and then driving it in the zoning. Doesn't look good, and if it is fair, just, I'd encourage you to take a good look at that. Again, thank you for all that you guys do. I think that there's so much that can be done. At the end of Rainville, I know it's the road there, there's buttons to cross, but no crosswalk. Why? Again, before we grow our infrastructure, we have to fix and make sure the walking of the town and the community is accessible and safe. So again, as we grow our town and try to grow our grand list, we need to protect the lives and loved ones to be able to walk through here. I'll say for the record, the mayor knows I've asked about trying to get a sidewalk on Rainville. EB employees and folks who live in the apartment complex use that route daily to get to the grocery store and walk to work. It is treacherous. They have to walk in the road and people can't see them. It was said that the city doesn't want to take the ownership because they're afraid with the water. We'll come up with a plan because that is a road that's accessible and folks need accessibility. So we truly care about Black History Month. Let's make sure the folks who need it most can walk throughout the community.
You have 1 minute left.
Your time. I'm sorry?
You have 1 minute left.
Sure. So it is very important. As far as the garbage cans, find a way to fund it. Get the unified gas, cans that can live with the arms so that folks can, use them effectively. I have purchased my own garbage cans. This first came from military housing. I like a heavy garbage can with a lid, especially when some days the trash is closed. You need another place to store it. So again, I hope that you move the camera, make it as transparent as possible, and please, please update your infrastructure. It's 2024. Fund it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else, we will move on to respond to citizens' petitions. Is there any response to citizens' petitions, council? Deputy Mayor Depot?
I just wanted, I think this is the first time,
I can't see her. I can't see her. I don't know who's talking. Can they introduce?
This is Deputy Mayor Depot speaking. Thank you.
Turn the camera, please. Thank you.
Can you hear her?
It's very fuzzy, but it would be helpful if they just angled the TV so we can see everyone that's participating. There's going to be people that are omitted by choice. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Well, I can't control the camera. I will do the best that I can, and that's it.
You can turn the cart. That's what we do.
Okay, well, we can do that, I guess.
Yep, all I gotta do is.
There you go. How's that,
Thank
Councilor
you.
Bordelon? There we go. Good.
I can't, that's great. I can see everyone. That's a transparent meeting. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Depot,
thank you,
you
Mayor.
have the floor.
I just want, this is the first, I think, response to citizens petitions we've had.
Having trouble
Put the-
hearing.
I believe this is the first citizens petitions response we've had since the new council, correct, Mayor?
That's correct.
Can you review what the response to citizens petitions should include and should not include?
So the response to citizens petition, you can respond to something that was said. You cannot get into a dialogue with the citizens, and you cannot get into a dialogue back and forth so that we don't violate FOIA. So if you have a clarification or if you want to make a single statement, that's one thing, but you can't get into a back and forth at a meeting that should be, of issues that should be discussed in an open forum. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I have several comments and or questions, mostly for either the mayor or the finance director. Going to the first citizen on 108 Thames, that process of doing an RFP, it was decided by the real estate committee to change it and split the properties. And I just wanted to clarify, if we were to do the same with Zero Broad and declare excess property, we would have to put out an RFP available to everybody and run through that whole process, again, correct, according to our policies?
Yeah, there is a policy for disposing of excess real estate. I don't have all the details on it. There are certain pieces that would give it the first right to an abutting property owner, but that is based on appraised value. So there is a process and a formal document for that.
So there's not a way for the city to gift property to anyone, resident, business, anyone, that's not a procedure that we could do legally?
City property can be gifted by the council, but you would not be following that policy.
So we would have to break policy to do that?
Correct.
And then moving on, let's see, what was the other thing I was going to say? This, I guess, is for the mayor. So there was an issue brought up about economic development and planning and zoning. Do we have members that are on both committees?
We had one member, Jason Rusk. My understanding is he resigned from economic development to be on planning and zoning, but I'll have to check on that.
And then planning and zoning is a legislative body, correct? So they make legislative decisions?
That is true. Economic development is an ad hoc committee. They're advisory only, but planning and zoning is a legislative committee, and they have to follow the Connecticut general statutes.
And then I just wanted to make a comment on the sidewalks and or crosswalks on that Rainville corridor. I have followed up myself, mentioned it to Senator Summers. I know that the mayor has as well, because I know the state does not take kindly when we make modifications to their roads. I know that it has come up before. And I do you know, I do try to go through the city and make sure that we're notifying Public Works when crosswalks are getting dull. But I know that on state roads, it's not really our choice necessarily, and we can bug them until they come do it. But that is on my radar, and I have been following up on that. I believe, for clarification on that, the state would have to give or sell us that property for us to even consider putting a sidewalk there, right?
Yes, they would have to do that.
And risk-wise, we've been advised not to do that, correct?
Based on insurance companies and our attorneys, it was advised that we don't do that. In addition to that, if you go to the intersection of Brandegee and Rainville, there is a sidewalk that if you take that sidewalk, puts you on Pequannock Road, and at a brand-new crosswalk that we made sure that we enhanced during the Pequannock Road reconstruction, that puts you on a sidewalk that will take you down to Pequannock Road, and you don't have to go down Rainville. Now, that sidewalk is, if you look at Clarence B. Sharp, there's actually two sidewalks. As you're walking from the M-Lot or from the intersection down there up, just before you get to the Clarence B. Sharp overpass, there's a sidewalk on the left-hand side that goes off and dumps you onto Rainville. If you go under the overpass, right after that, there's a sidewalk that takes you to Joe Avenue, and then it terminates at Elderkin, and then that will take you to wherever you want to go in parts of the city. So there are sidewalks that are there that can keep people out of the road and keep people from potentially stumbling on gravel that's there. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Just one last question directed at the finance director. There was mention of our police budget needing to be higher. I just want to clarify, half of our police budget is paid by the town of Groton, correct?
Minus the chief's salary and
So if we wanted
benefits.
to, any increase to the police department's budget also is approved by the town council and the RTM?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other counselors? Counselor Sheffield, you have the floor.
Yes, I guess, my question, I guess, I know Frank Jeanette was asking, why was 0 Broad Street not included in the RFP? Does anyone have an answer why it wasn't included in this purchase compared to the previous one?
Do you want to address it, or do you want me to address it? So this latest RFP was the third round of RFPs. In the first round of RFPs, it was probably the most restrictive of the RFPs. We had several respondents, and then one respondent that showed up late and did not follow the process, so they were automatically rejected. The other respondents did not meet the requirements of the RFP, so it was rejected. The RFP was closed out. Real Estate Committee met again and decided on another RFP. So in the beginning RFP, 0 Broad was included as in it, because what we were asking was, what will you offer the city, right? And we didn't have a high value. We just said, what are you going to offer? And so we put 0 Broad there as an enticement. In the second RFP, we continued. We took some of the restrictions down, but not all. We still required a performance bond. We had 3 respondents, and then those respondents met the requirements, and then they were ranked by the Real Estate Committee based on which projects they thought was probably best for the city. And we spent 18 months on the first respondent, and this ended up going into the COVID period. And then that negotiation failed. Then went to the second respondent, that went 6 months, almost a year, and then that failed. And then Frank was the last respondent for that RFP. And then we got into negotiations back and forth. The performance bond ended up being the issue in the end. And there was some confusion from the attorneys. His attorney was trying to reduce the performance bond. I needed the performance, well, we needed a performance bond to protect the city in the event that something happened in construction, and if it fell back to the city, so that the city could stabilize the house if need be. And so we ended up parting ways, and we closed out that RFP. We then went back to committee. We went back and forth on what we could do. What we decided to do was to sell Mother Bailey by itself. We were going to lift all restrictions with the exception of you can't tear the house down. And that's what we did. And we sent it out for a bid. We did have some some bids, and Frank had the high bid, so therefore he got the house.
Okay.
And that's the story.
So if he wanted to purchase 0 Broad Street at some point, is that available, or is it?
The real estate committee has met and has decided not to put 0 Broad on the market for now because there may be a future need for 0 Broad. We're not sure yet. But you can't just call Frank in and say, okay, we'll do a quick claim and you can have it. You can't do that. We'd have to, if we were going to do this, we'd have to go out with the RFP process and then basically go for a high bid, and then we might put a contingency on there based on the assessed value.
Any idea what the assessed value is, do you know, anybody?
I do not have that offhand. I believe that was part of the appraisal that was done before we sold 108 Thames, but I don't recall if we had it on both. I feel like we did, but I could be misspeaking. I can get that information for you if we do have it.
It wasn't $2,000 or $3,000. I mean, it was up there. Is that-
Yeah, for that topic,
Okay.
and I'd like to, again, thank Portia Bordelon for her comments regarding Black history, and it's a, an important time of the year, I guess, for African Americans, though I'm not totally for having African American history 1 month out of the year. I prefer history all 12 months of the year, so, but it's, it's a positive thing for, hopefully a positive thing for our country, as things have been much more stressful in these times than in years past, so. But Portia, thank you again for your comments. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, any other counselors? Counselor Piazza?
I just want to thank you, Mr. Jeanette, for coming and clarifying it, because, I mean, it might have been said, but I wasn't aware that 0 Broad did not come into it, because I remember prior to it was. So thank you for the clarification. Just so through all that, what I'm hearing is 0 Broad was for enticement, and now that's pulled back through all the real estate and the reviews and so forth and so on. So I get that, but you were stating that possibly 0 Broad there's something that may happen with it. Is that anything you could give us a tidbit on, or no?
It has not been fully discussed at the real estate committee.
Okay.
The real estate committee has said that they do not want to sell it at this point.
Okay. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and speaking, especially in support of Mr. Jeanette, because he has done a wonderful job. I pass by my bus route goes by you, so I get to see the process of it. It's beautiful out there. What I want to say is about Black History Month. I mean, so in reference to that, I know that we did have something at St. John's Church. There was a service, correct, for the MLK. So, I mean, yes, we should celebrate, and I just wanted to throw out there in reference to that, because I have a child that is mixed, and so involved in whatever we get to, and culture, but I also just wanted to throw out there also, too, that, and if anybody goes to Starbucks, they do have on their little app, Black History little podcasts. They're only like 2 or 3 minutes, and my daughter and I listened to 4 of them today, and it has really great things about, especially now, about African Americans who are recognized, but not as much as maybe Martin Luther King, but people who were in the Olympics, a woman who sang in front on the steps of Assembly, and there's really great little tidbits to learn. So I wanted to say, yes, we should recognize, and hopefully the thing on the 15th will be, the ceremony we'll have on the 15th. Hopefully be a well-attended. And with that also too, I want to say as far as the crosswalks, I get the whole thing that we're talking about Brandegee. So, but you, Mayor, you had said that you can cross over. So, because I do the bus route and so forth and so on, we see a lot of the crosswalks. We see a lot of how people go. So, if you were to cross over, coming say from EB and you're crossing Clarence beyond to Brandegee, if they were to walk across that way and there is a crosswalk lit up, a lot of people cross that way. So they come down. There is sidewalk, but they would still have to cross the end of Pequannock and Brandegee intersection, and there's no light there, and there's no crosswalk to cross. I mean, I go with that on the bus all the time. There's
At
not
Brandegee and Rainville there is.
Brandegee and Rainville. I'm talking about, yes, but you were saying they
Talking
could
at
come down the
at
sidewalk.
top of the hill.
Right. And they can cross over, come down that pathway.
Yes.
And then head down Pequannock to get to the lot. But when they'll get to that, they'll have to still cross that intersection that Portia Bordelon was talking about, that there's no lighting there and so forth. And so we pass by the people all the time. So they would still have to cross that. That's a really dangerous intersection for anybody to cross. I see people there all the time. And then with that saying, today on Mitchell Street, it's a dangerous, dangerous time. As a bus driver, let me tell you, in the dark, raining, it's awful. Today, even in the light, there was a woman with a baby carriage sitting, waiting to cross. And then when we stopped this way, a car came, she went to cross, and somebody came out of their lane to zoom past that person, and she ran. I can't tell you how close that person came to hitting her and her child in the carriage. I mean, can we control people? No, but it's just, I feel personally that I do look at the lights, I look at what can be done better, so forth and so on. The lighting, I'm not sure what kind of lighting we have there, but the lighting, especially in the rain, you cannot, I'll tell you, especially even not only the crosswalk at Brandegee and Pequannock or Brandegee up at the top of the hill, that one's pretty well lit. But the ones on Mitchell Street, especially the ones at Sacred Heart, the people wearing dark clothes, you can't see them. And then there's another one at Fleming, I believe, Fleming and Mitchell Street, very, very dangerous, really dangerous. You don't see the people, and they run across, and sometimes all you see is just something flickering in your headlights. Extremely dangerous. So that's why I really think we do need to focus on that. You know, I thought like glow-in-the-dark paint, blah, 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 I don't know. You have the lit-up one when the pedestrian got hit up by the EB parking lot. I was wondering maybe if that could be done on Mitchell Street possibly. I know that's monies, but I mean, it is dangerous, dangerous. People go by fast, and I was really concerned that lady almost got hit today. And that's my take on all the comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we will move on to approval of the minutes. I'll take a motion to approve the mayor and council meeting minutes of December 18th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Take a motion to approve the special committee of the whole meeting minutes of January 8th, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Take a motion to approve the special mayor and council meeting minutes of January 8th, 2024.
So
So-
moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. And lastly, I'll take a motion to approve the committee of the whole meeting minutes for January 22nd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. Communication reports, Councilor Patterson. Councilor Piazza.
The thing wasn't able to get to the St. John's one, but so I did go to the Martin Luther King Ecumenical Service in New London, and it was very good. And they did include the MLK scholarship recipients, and an excellent speaker who was a previous MLK recipient, and they had a reception afterwards, and I did attend that. It was marvelous. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Talley?
I have nothing.
Councilor Sheffield?
I had a concerned resident, lives on Cutler Street, regarding, I guess, chickens running loose on Morse Avenue, I guess a resident. So I guess the chickens are dropping feces on her property and driveway and so forth, and she's had to clean that up herself, including hosing her driveway down. And, she has a dog that could track that into her house, walking the yard. So she's quite concerned about that situation. She had contacted Ledge Light regarding any potential health concern that could be remedied through them, but it's something hopefully that our council and mayor and council can address at some point. I think the address is 45 Morse Avenue, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'll get somebody to take a look at it.
That's all.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Mayor Depot?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a few things I want to mention. On the 16th of January, I actually, and I know I've mentioned this before, and we had them come, but I started the mentor program through the Groton Public Schools, and I just want to, I'm going to bring it up a lot, I think, because the, you go, it's an easy system. You go into the, at least at the middle school, you go into the office, you have a little sign-in sheet, and you spend 30 minutes with a child, and, there's all kinds of circumstances that have put them in that opportunity to be mentored. Some of them have asked for it. Some teachers reach out to them and ask them if they want to be part of the program. But it's only 30 minutes a week of time, and there are a lot of kids that could use an adult in their life just to get out of the classroom for 30 minutes and have someone to talk to. Even if you don't do, there's a lot of, they have games to play, just kind of to be there for a kid. So I just want to encourage everyone, if you're interested at all in, just making the life of a kid a little bit better, you can go to grotonschools.org/mentor and fill out an interest form and just ask questions about it if you're interested. On the 26th, I volunteered for the food box distribution. As usual, the next one is on February 23rd from 12:30 to 2. The last one, we had inclement weather in the morning, so I think I delivered like 16 or 18, which is normal, which is a little higher than normal for me. But I just want to remind residents that if you can't get to the food box distribution for any reason, you can contact the mayor's office, you can send me an email, or the clerk's office too, and they will get your information to me and I will deliver a box to you of food. Again, the next one is on Friday, February 23rd from 12:30 to 2. And I usually deliver them by 4, depending on how many I have. And then the farmer's market is this Sunday, right before Super Bowl Sunday. So it's a good place, and it's right before Valentine's Day. So I know that there's going to be a vendor with treats, like dessert type things for Valentine's Day. And I think we usually have a bread vendor and lots of other options. So if you are looking for some finishing touches for your Super Bowl party or something for Valentine's Day, swing over to the farmer's market. Lastly, I want to mention that the Citizens Police Academy is starting back up. It starts on March 18th. It's 8 Mondays in a row. Is it 2 hours, Chief? 2 hours. Yep, it's 2 hours for 8 Mondays. You go over essentially everything our police department does. You can ask any questions you want. You get to meet a bunch of police officers, and some of them are kind of administrative, so some of them aren't out giving, making traffic stops, or you might not see out all the time. So it's kind of nice to get to meet some of the other officers. And I think it's super informative. So if you've ever had a question about our police department, how they run, what kind of programs that we have for our officers, it's a great opportunity to do that. Again, Monday, March 18th is the first day, and it runs for 8 Mondays. Contact our police department if you have any questions, or if you would like to sign up. You do have to do an application because the police have to have your info on file. So you get that in as soon as you can so that you can sign up for that. And thank you, Chief, for bringing that back, because I do think it's really important for residents to know what our police department, what our philosophies are, how we police. I think I explain it to a lot of people who don't know, and they're always surprised at, well, one, how much I know about the police department, partly because I went to the police academy. But I think it's such good information to put out there, so thank you. And that is all.
Okay.
It's in reference to the
Counselor-
farmer's market.
Counselor Piazza?
So somebody was asking me about that. They saw the sign. Is there somewhere they can go to? I don't even know, that they know what vendors are there. So like prior to, like if they only had 3 vendors and they were like, well, that's not something I'm looking for. Is there a way that they can find out what vendors are there? and they
There's
can come
a
visit?
Facebook page, Farmers Market, City of Groton.
Okay.
Farmers Market Facebook page,
All right.
and that usually lists the vendors that are going to be at the upcoming market.
And that's done weekly?
Yeah, well, the farmer's market is monthly.
Well,
So
I'm
that's-
sorry. What I meant is you'll know ahead of time before you go
Yes,
to the market.
they-
Okay.
it should be posted here pretty soon.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay?
Thank you.
One last thing, there's a city cabaret. Azalea Drive will be playing on the 18th at 3 o'clock. So I wanted to make you aware of that. And for those of you that are food deprived and would like food delivered, the phone number to the mayor's office is 860-446-4103. That's 860-446-4103. We'll take your name and address, and we'll get food to you. So, Deputy Mayor,
I'm sorry, can I make a clarification to what you said?
yes.
You do not need to be food deprived to get a
Oh,
food box
well, that's
delivered
true.
to you. If you could use food, we will bring you food. If it helps you pay your other bills, you
Well,
do not have to
right.
be in desperate need of a food box
Oh,
to get a food
absolutely.
box.
And the other thing about the food drive is if this helps you and frees up money for other bills, then use that. It is a service. There's plenty of food there. And we are partnered with the United Way. So
Sorry.
it is a good thing. Nope, that's a good point.
Thank you.
I should just left if you're in need of food or if you want food or come on down, that kind of thing, or give us a call. Are there any, so moving on to committee referrals, are there any committee referrals? Okay, moving on, we'll go to new business. Counselor Patterson.
Okay. Therefore be that the mayor and the council authorize the city of Groton waiver the bid process and issue a purchase order for trash and recycling containers to Totter 841 Meckham Road, Statesville, North Carolina, an amount not to exceed $10,820.50 to be paid from funding available in the approved fiscal year 2024 Highway Department operating budget. I so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. This was previously discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Therefore be it, Resolution 24-2-3. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the fiscal year 2025 Highway Department budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Finance Director Uhas.
So put at your seats a packet. If you recall, when we were going over the police and the highway budget, we said we just had a placeholder for the benefits of the 5% why we're going to continue to research and try to gain more information with the consultants from both sides, from the health insurance, from our regular insurance, and reviewing the actuary studies. So what we came up with the highway is there's no change to the bottom line budget. However, we did adjust the health insurance. We brought that back to a level, so it's just zero change from the previous year. The pension was needed to be increased, so we brought that up to 31,000, and then the workers' comp has been a little bit over as far as tracking goes, so we dropped that down to 9,950. So overall, there was no change to the bottom line of the highway budget. It was just reallocating within the benefits to true those lines up.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-24-2-4, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the fiscal year 2025 police department budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Okay, Finance Director Uhas.
So this is similar to the highway with one exception. When we did review the benefits, we did end up reducing the bottom line by $78,220. The biggest piece of that was from the pension and the change from the actual determined contribution based on some changes that were made there. The other significant increase that you'll see is on the insurance, which the top three are for the chief, which gets backed out of the 50% funding for the town. A previous chief had waived insurance, so therefore it's just a change to true up the budget amounts there. And again, the pension on that one just got reduced back to the same level it was in the previous year. And then we did a true up of the OPEB to what we've been using historically of the $2,620 per person per FTE. So it was truly just a true up of those, and which resulted in a $78,220 reduction from your original budget. So you do have an entirely new budget for the police for your records that reflect that.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. So this budget shows a budget increase of 5.33%, correct? The new,
Correct.
and what was the previous one?
6.65.
Okay, that's what I thought. So it's about 1.3% lower.
Right.
Good. Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Sheffield.
Yeah, that was kind of my question as well, as the decrease of down to 5.33, and it was at 6.65 to begin. So hopefully that's a positive to negotiations with the town, I guess, for the budget. So hopefully that works out.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Artelli.
R-24-2-5, therefore be it resolved, the mayor and council authorize and accept the Nuclear Safety Emergency Program budget as requested, allocated by the State of Connecticut, Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, with the approval of the State of Connecticut Office of Policy and Management, in the amount of $33,752.00 for equipment and resource allocation reimbursements. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the previous committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Before we go on, I want to go back to the highway budget real quick. There is, as a result of the highway budget, in our charter, there's a requirement for 3 counselors from the city to meet with 3 counselors from the town. And I had sent out an email to think about if you'd like to be on that committee. Counselor Norris has expressed interest in being on that committee. Is there anyone else who would like, Deputy Mayor Depot would like to be on the committee? Okay, and we'll put Counselor Sheffield. I will make Deputy Mayor Depot the chair of the meeting for the meeting that we have with the town council. Okay? All right, moving on. Let's see, Counselor Sheffield,
Number 6.
Yep.
number 6.
Yep. Resolution R-24-2-6. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the city of Groton to purchase cameras from Cross Camera Controls Incorporated, 39 Clara Burton Road, North Oxford, Massachusetts, for a total cost of $24,665.00 to be paid from the accepted fiscal year 2024 State of Connecticut Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security Nuclear Safety Emergency Planning Fund. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed in committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Patterson.
R-24-2-7. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the information technology modifications required to support the Next Gen project from Groton Utilities Information Technology Department, 295 Meridian Street, Groton, in the amount not to exceed $60,570.41 to be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act recovery funds. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution -24-2-8. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council accept a donation from St. John's Christian Church, 348 Shanticosset Road, Groton, Connecticut, for the City of Groton Police Department in the amount of $300.00 to be used for the Stuff a Cruiser coat drive. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-24-2-9. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council rescind Resolution 23-12-145 and authorize Groton Utilities Management to purchase annual maintenance and support of the Trimble Energy Distribution Utilities software from Trimble, P.O. Box 203558, Dallas, Texas, for an amount not to exceed $55,931.40 to be paid from the fiscal year 24 and proposed fiscal year 25 electric operating budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We discussed this during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Counselor Talley.
Resolution R-24-2-10. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to enter into a 3-year contract for the removal and transportation of aluminum-based drinking water residuals, and authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Crop Environmental Contractors, Incorporated, 32 Exeter Road, P.O. Box 258, Lebanon, Connecticut, not to exceed $100,000 and no cents, to be paid from the fiscal year 24 water operations budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Sheffield.
Resolution R-24-2-11. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Wright Pierce Engineering, Department 2100, P.O. Box 986500, Boston, Massachusetts, for an amount not to exceed $99,000.00 to support the Southeastern Council of Governments, Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation, grant awarded to Groton Utilities to design and engineer 11,700 linear feet of water infrastructure upgrades in the city of Groton on Military Highway, Grove Avenue, and Fairview Avenue as a non-budgeted purchase to be paid from available cash. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Deputy Mayor Depot.
I just want to make a comment that there is an additional breakdown in this resolution that shows the pre-approved amount and the amount we're going to be reimbursed. And I know that sometimes that is in the wording, but I like the way it's laid out. It's nice and clear. So I just want to say thank you to whoever did that because it does make it easier when you browse through to see it.
And I will get the feedback to the GU to keep this format in the future. I agree with you. It is easier to read and understand. Any additional discussion? Councilor Piazza?
Could you just refresh my memory on the water infrastructure, what that actually is going to be?
They're gonna be digging up and replacing the pipe.
Pipes, okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Patterson?
R-24-2-12. Therefore be it resolved, the mayor and the council authorize Groton Utility Management to issue a purchase order to LIG Consultant PC 510 Chapman Street, Suite 202, Canton, Massachusetts, for an amount not to exceed $155,411.00, including a 15% contingency to support the Southeastern Connecticut Council of Governments Office of Local Defense Community Corporation granted awarded to Groton Utilities as a budget purchase to be paid from electric non-bonded capital. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed in committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza?
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution -24-2-13, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Commission, Water Pollution Control Authority authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Wright Pierce Engineering, 169 Main Street, 700 Plaza Middlesex, Middletown, Connecticut, for an amount not to exceed $212,575.00, including a 10% contingency for the design and bidding services for Brandegee tank rehabilitation to be paid from the fiscal year 2021 water bond fund. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Deputy Mayor Depot.
Just a clerical issue in there.
Which one?
It should just say the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management. That whole section, Groton Utilities Commission, Water Pollution Control Authority authorized.
That's why
Looks
I
like it was-
stumbled up.
So
Yeah.
it should be authorized. We'll get rid of that.
I think it was just copied and
just say-
pasted from above.
Authorize, so that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management.
Correct.
Okay, we'll do that. Make sure that's updated. Okay, thank you. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-24-2-14. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Peter S. Torello LLC, P.O. Box 1270, New London, Connecticut, not to exceed $105,915.70, including a 10% contingency for the preventative maintenance and repairs to the Interstate 95 highway crossing electric tower-based footings as a budgeted project to be paid from electric non-bonded capital. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Talley.
Resolution R-24-2-15, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Power Tech Associates, P.O. Box 542, Unionville, Connecticut, a preferred vendor, for an amount not to exceed $87,945.00, including a 10% contingency to purchase 3 pad mount primary metering cabinets as part of the upgrade and replacement of facilities at the Wyman-Gordon substation as a budgeted purchase to be paid from electric non-bonded capital. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Sheffield.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-24-2-16, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the appointment of Benjamin Moore, 80 Westwood Drive, Groton, Connecticut, as a regular member, Beach and Parks Committee, term to expire on December 31st, 2025. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Patterson.
Resolution 24-2-17, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the council provisionally authorize and approve the cost and repair work for a Ford tractor with Cook's Equipment Rental and Repair LLC, 250 Leonard Drive, Groton, Connecticut, as a piece of $10,580.99 to be paid from the fiscal year 24 operating budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion?
Could we have a repeat on the dollar amount, please?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
So just read it from, yeah,
Counselor Patterson.
what they meant.
$10,558.99.
Thank you.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 24-2-8.
That's you.
Therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and council that the demolition of the structure located on 352 Thames Street, Groton, Connecticut be and is hereby approved, and that the mayor or his designee be authorized to execute, enter into a demolition agreement in such form as approved by the city planner and public works director. I so move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? And I did receive some paperwork, preliminary, reaching out to people. Looks like the destruction is gonna be around $30-something thousand. So that will definitely come before the council again because it exceeds the 10,000 threshold. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll
Abstention?
abstain.
Okay.
Abstention. Okay, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-24-2-19. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the reappointment of Hallie Keeler, 45 Ramsdale Street, Groton, Connecticut, as a regular member of the Board of Ethics, term to expire on February 1st, 2028. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Talley.
Resolution R-24-2-20. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the reappointment of Mark Granatowski, 30 North Prospect Street, Groton, Connecticut, as a member, Eastern Point Historic District Commission, term to expire on February 1st, 2029. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Counselor Sheffield.
Resolution R-24-2-21, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the reappointment of Sarah Welchel, 9 North Prospect Road, Groton, Connecticut, as an alternate member, Eastern Point Historic District Commission, term to expire on February 1st, 2029. I so move.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Counselor Patterson.
Resolution 24-2-22. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the councilor initially approve an amendment to ordinance number 205, an ordinance relative to the creation of an economic development commission for the city of Groton. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is discussed during the committee of the whole and a previous committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention. Congratulations, council. We went through 21 resolutions tonight. Probably the largest number of resolutions we've done in a very long time. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Where are we? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
That was close.
I was gonna say 45.
Oh, you didn't put the bid in for Lollipop?
I am.
Oh, more.
And he said he was gonna try to get us out here by 8:30. Oh, you're welcome.
Recording stopped.
I meant to, I got distracted, I was talking to speak or something, and I meant to say, have it, I think in my calendar, 'cause I did my calendar for the week. I think I put 9. After reviewing the packet, I think I put 9 o'clock thinking, and so, split it, the distance.
Okay.
I was reviewing
Thank you,
it, and I was
council.
talking like, so many pages.
Right? I know, I was like, where's the minutes? Then I couldn't remember, like, did it say 7:30? I think it's 7:30. I said to my son, I had
I
to go and get my
double-checked.
daughter. And I said, open up my packet. I said, I reopen it up, and at the top, it would say what time I gotta be there. I said, just text it. For some reason, I was confused today. I just couldn't figure it out.
You know why? Because all of like, even like end of November, December, January, all of our meetings have, and we had like that weather day. So we've had meetings at different times. Like, like in that one day we had a committee of the whole and a special.